Okay, so I think you are able to see my screen, and this would be the sorry, I think I opened the wrong slides. Okay, so this would be the class of 4G04, the equipment design and materials, and I'm your instructor for this term. My name is Hao Yang, and I listed my contact information here, my phone number, which is the phone number to my office, and I think it might be hard for you to find me through this phone. So the best way for you to contact me is send me an email. So this is my email address. Also, as we are using the MS Teams as the platform of the class, if you want to contact me, you can also draft me the email, send me message through Teams. And there will be some channels under the general channels where you can send me messages, or you can send me messages directly to my account. So for me, I'm now an assistant professor in civil engineering, and my major is about the transportation engineering. And this one is highly related to the class that we are taking now. The pavement design and materials is even though it's under the major of the geotechnology, but the design of the road, especially the highway and the arterial corridors, will be utilized for the road traffic, and the analysis of the traffic to support the design of the road is also very important. So I will include more details about how the pavement design is related to the traffic and transportation engineering. But those will be some details that we're going to cover in the future. In this class, we will have two teaching assistants, Hania and Ali. They will help you to work on the lab experiments and the tutorial sessions. So if you are taking the in-person activity, we will, of course, we are going to receive the instructions about the lab experiments, and the TA will be in the lab to help you complete the experiments. And also the TA will lead some of the tutorial sessions to explain some of the fundamental knowledges for this class, and also give you a review about the homework assignment and also some of the examples in the lectures. And that's the persons which were involved in this class. For the times and the schedules of the other activities, you know that for the lecture sessions, it's scheduled on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 4:30 to 5:20 p.m. It's a 3 1-hour session every week. This lecture session will be offered online through Teams, as what we are doing now. And for the office hour, it will be scheduled on Thursday from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. So if you have any questions about the lectures and the homework assignment, you can join the meeting in the office hour channel under this class in Teams. Or you can send, if you are not able to join the office hour, you can send me the email and we can make an appointment later. And or even you can just send me the email with your questions, and I will try to give you my answers as soon as possible. So that's the lecture time and office hour. And for our tutorials, it's held in the BSB building 108. It's actually a very large room. And the time is Wednesday from 2:30 to 4:20. That's in a 2-hour session. For those who are not familiar about the location of BSB building, it's just next to our engineering building. So we have the JHE building here, the BSB building is here, and the room is just at this corner. So if you exit from JHE, you can find out the and enter the BSB from the side door. You can find out the room in the first floor. And for those who want to join the in-person activity, you are encouraged to attend the tutorial sessions. And I will explain more details about how the tutorial session is offered in this term. And also we have the lab session. The lab session is offered in the geotechnical lab in JHE building. The room number is 114. We actually have 2 lab sessions every week, Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday afternoon. Each lab session is about 3 hours. And of course, this one is related to the some of the concept we're going to introduce in this class. You will not need to start the lab session this week. Actually, we plan to have the first lab in the 3rd week. And we need to know the details about how many students will take the in-person lab experiments this term. And then we will try to assign the teams for actually the lab groups for all the in-person activity, in-person students and also online students. And I will introduce more details about it. And as I say that the lab is actually offered in the first floor of the JHE building. And for the format of this class, the lecture is offered through MS Teams, and we will have the live we'll have a live lecture section, and when making the presentation about the course materials, I hope you can mute yourself. And if you have any questions, you can raise your hand, and usually I will go to check the raising hand after I finish one topic or I finish one example, and then I will go through each one of you who have the questions based on the time that you raise your hand. And the other way for you to leave your questions, like you can type your questions in the meeting chat, and which is just next to the, if you are not familiar about the platform of the MS Teams, I can show you how to find it. With the meeting chat, you are able to type all your messages, and also you can have some discussion there. But I hope you can focus on the course materials, the topics that we discussed in the in each lecture. And what I plan to do for each session is like we want to have around 40 to 45 minutes presentation, including the questions, and we will then leave 5 to 10 minutes as a discussion session and go through all the questions in the meeting chat. And well, in order to make the lecture smooth and efficient, when you leave the questions in the meeting chat, I hope you can start with the questions queue to the page number, which page of the slide is, and then go with your questions. And if you ask some general questions, you can just specify G and then questions. With that one, I can try to decide which one is more important to answer first. So that's the lecture. And for the office hour, it's offered through the Teams. And actually, I have just created an office hour channel in this class. So if we go back to check the this class, and there's a lecture channel, and we also have the office hour channel and the tutorial channel. For the office hour, I haven't created any meeting yet, but after this class, I will create a weekly meeting in this channel. If you have any questions about the class, you can join the office hour during the time, which is Wednesday, Thursday, 12:30 to 1:30, and I will always be available at that time. And once you initiate the meeting, I can go to discuss with you and answer all the questions you have. If there's any conflict with your current schedule, you can always send me an email, and we can then find out in a different time to discuss the question. So that's the office hour for the tutorial. The tutorial is actually offered within a hybrid mode. So the TA will be in the classroom, which would be BSB 108, and offer the in-person activity. And there will be some cameras and also some of the advanced devices installed in this classroom. Will broadcast the activity to all the online students. And then basically for the tutorial sessions, we will cover some of the preliminary knowledges and give you a review about the homework assignment and also help you to review the course materials before the midterm and final exam. In this class, we will have approximately 7 sessions. 3 sessions about the preliminary knowledge review, and 2 sessions for the review of the homework assignment, and 2 sessions for Q&A, which will be used for the preparation of the midterm and final exams. And for the lab sessions, we offer in-person and online labs. For the student who wants to take the in-person lab, actually for all the students, you need to fill the survey that I designed in the Avenue to Learn. So in that part, you need to actually I'm going to show you where you can find out the survey, which will be easier for you to complete the survey later. So if we go to the class and enter the resource, scroll down to the end, there's the surveys, and enter this. And this part, you can see the survey that I created, in-person activity survey. If we click that one, for your platform, definitely you can see those questions, all these 3 questions, and you can answer those questions based on your preferences. For my side, I can do all the modifications, but for your side, you can only do the selection. And once you complete the survey, I will have some ideas about how many students were involved in the in-person activity, how many of you will take the online activities, and the TA and I will try to assign the in-person activity and the online activity at 2 separate groups. And the student with the in-person activity will be assigned to several groups to take the lab experiment. In the meanwhile, for the online student, they will also be assigned to some of the groups, and they will work on the also they have to work together for the lab data, for lab report, with the data that are collected from the previous year students. So that's the way for us to conduct the lab in person and remotely. In this class, we will have 3 lab sessions, actually 3 lab experiments, and the exact date for you to take what kind of lab will be announced on Avenue to Learn after we collect all the information from the survey. Basically, you only need to conduct the first 2 lab experiments by yourself, and the last lab will are more about a demonstration. and we're gonna bring you to the ADL lab. That will be another lab in our department, and you will go to watch how we can conduct the super pave samples. And for the lab, as I mentioned that the survey is very important. We need to finalize the teams in the first week and do some arrangement about what kind of activity, in-person activities you can take in the second week, and then you can start your lab experiment in the third week. So everyone in the class will need to join one team, either in-person teams or online teams. And here are some of the recommended books that you can read for this class. Actually, for this class, you don't need to have any textbook. The course notes that I will share with you in this class will be sufficient for you to learn all the knowledges. But this textbook will be very helpful for you to extend your knowledge and also get some of the detailed explanation or some of the definitions about some unimportant concepts. And the first two is very important and it's really helpful. The pavement engineering principles and the practice and the pavement analysis and design. These two will be really helpful for you to study the course materials. And of course, there will be some other books and reports that you can read, and this will help you to learn some of the advanced pavement technologies and softwares. For the tasks that we have to do in this class, we have assignment, lab reports, exams, and for the assignment, actually we will have 4 homework assignments, which will be responsible for 20% of your final grade. For now, I prefer you can submit your assignment on time, and usually I'll give you 1 to 2 weeks to complete the assignment depending on the load in each one. And actually there will be one additional homework which I called as homework 0. It's very simple, and this will give you some bonus point to your final grade. For the lab sessions, you will need to prepare 2 lab reports, which will be related to the 2 lab experiments that you're going to work with. And each one will be responsible for 10% to your final grade. And we have 1 final midterm exam, which will be held approximately in the week 8. And it's around 30% of your final grade, and the final exam takes about 40%. So that's the schedule of this class. So I will pause here for a while to take any questions that you have for now. So do you have any questions so far? You can raise your hand, or you can leave the some of the questions in the meeting chat. Okay. If no, then I will continue to the some of the rest materials, giving some of the basic introductions about the pavement design and some detailed instructions, detailed schedule of the class. So I see one question. So I don't know how to pronounce the name. So Sia, or I don't know.
Yes, it's Tia.
Tia, okay, sorry. What's your question?
I wanted to ask, I already sent you an email, but I don't know if you already read it. I'm an international student from Germany, and obviously I'm still in Germany, so I can't take in-person sessions. So am I right in thinking that I still can take this course?
It is. It is. We are actually almost half of the class will not take the in-person activity. So we have some specific design for the in-person students and online students. So that's totally fine. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Probably there might be the only issue you may need to think about is about the time zones, and some of the activity might be scheduled very late. And let me know if there's any issue, and if there's any conflict, you might need to send to the contact the university to send some request to accommodate your potential issues.
All right, yeah, it's already 11 p.m. here, so
Okay.
yeah, but it's still fine.
Okay. Yeah. So I will try. I'll consider that and try not to arrange something very late. Okay. Okay. If we don't have any question, we'll move to the next topic about the payment. Some of the basic introductions about this class. So this class is basically talking about how we conduct the payment, how we can develop a reliable payment to support the traffic for a long time with low cost. And if we go to check the video on YouTube, and the concept about the payment is very simple. It's just it's called a very simple engineering problem. And actually, I have a video for you to see how the payment is conducted, but I think it's not able to play it through Teams. You can see the picture, but you cannot hear anything. So basically, for the payment, you just need to put different layers, like you have to compress the nature soil, and then put some processed nature soil, and get some manufactured materials on top, and put some of the asphalt materials or the some of the concrete on top, and then that will be done. It's a very simple process, but the things under the pavement, the things inside, the inside is not simple. For the pavement, the whole process is actually a very complicated process. The field work is just the last step, and for all the preparations, it's very complicated. We need to choose the appropriate materials. We need to make the appropriate compaction, and also we have to consider the impact of the weathers and the traffic, and also the temperatures in that region, and try to also the payment is limited by the budget. So put all this together, it becomes a very complicated problem. So generally, in the payment design, we need to consider 4 major issues: the characters of the materials that we're going to use for the payment, the impact of the traffic load in that area, and most time we just need to think about the truck load. And also we need to consider the environmental impact, the temperatures, the moisture level, the climate conditions, and so on. And of course, we need to think about the maintenance and the sustainability of the payment. We want to make sure that the government does not need to spend a lot of money to maintain the payment, and that the payment can provide acceptable services for as long as possible. But in reality, there will be a lot of issues about the road pavement. And for example, for the flexible pavement, which will usually represent the pavement with the asphalt surface. And the most common issues for the flexible pavement will be the rotting, which will be some of the unrecoverable longitudinal depression along the wheel paths, and that's the most serious issue caused by the traffic to the pavement. You can observe this kind of rotting at a lot of different roads. For example, if you go to check some of the country roads, you can see that there will be some crackings along the wheel paths, and they can even have some alligator cracking along the path. It makes the road very worse. The surface is not even, and which means that the drivers or the passengers in the vehicles will feel uncomfortable on the road. And of course, there will be some other issues about the some similar issues. One thing is called the transverse cracking. So this one is not a longitudinal cracking. Instead, it's a lateral cracking, and you can see that this cracking could be small, could be large, and it happens it can happen at any location on the road. Actually, this one is actually caused by different issues. So we will discuss about how this kind of cracking is induced by. It could be caused by the traffic. It could also be caused by the poor pavement conditions or the base conditions. And also we have some of the longitudinal cracking, and this will be some of the cracking that are not occurred along the pathway. Instead, it will occur in the middle of the lane. And there will be some top-down cracking or bottom-up cracking. Of course, the temperature, the moisture, and traffic load can contribute to the generation of the longitudinal cracking. And the other things like the frost heave, this will be some of the road that we captured from the water down, and you can see that there will be the surface will be cracked to very small pieces, and usually this one is caused by the temperature and the freeze thaw effect based on the and especially it can occurs at the springtime when the ice line under the earth is so make the surface soft, and once there's a heavy traffic driving past, you will see a heavy damage to the road surface. And also, if the situation gets even worse, you can see the potholes where some of the pavement materials will be moved away from the road, and you can see a small hole on the road, and if you don't do any maintenance about it, it can get larger and larger, and it will make the road the performance of the road very worse, and I could even cause some of the incidents on the road. This would be the picture taken in the Victoria Street in Dundas. And so what we discussed about previously is about the flexible pavement, and there are also some distress happens for the rigid pavement. We will usually have the Poland concrete pavement, and we will use some concrete for the surface of the road. But even though this kind of concrete is it's strong enough to support the traffic, but still, if it's overloaded, we will still have some issues, like we will have some faulty. You will see a very large gap between the concrete slabs, and also it's possible for you to see the breaks at the corners or at the edges, and those are all the common issues for the rigid pavement. And we know that there will be a lot of issues in the pavement design. And in this class, we want to provide a solid understanding about those materials and the analysis of the material properties, the design of the materials and the pavement layers. And also we want to think about put the maintenance in the consideration. And by using the new technologies that we have in the past decades to design the appropriate pavement. And also we want to take into the consideration of the environmental impact, the sustainability, and life cycle cost analysis for the pavement design. And I hope like once you go through all this process, you will have you're building a strong critical thinking skills so that once you are provided with some of the information, you can find out information of the weather, the materials, the natural materials, and the budget. You will be able to design the pavement by yourself, find out the most appropriate design by yourself. And of course, this class will give you some fundamental knowledge for you to become a qualified pavement engineer in Canada and potentially in the other countries. And so that's my target for you to train you in this class. And here we have 7 topics to cover in this class. The first 5 will be the fundamental knowledge of this of the pavement design, and the last 2 will tell you the details about how to complete the 2 types of the pavements. For the fundamental knowledge, we will need to learn the soil properties, the highway base, subbase, and subgrade properties, the design of the drainage system, the asphalt technologies, and impact of the traffic to the pavement. And once we have all these fundamental knowledges, we will then go to the details about the steps about how to conduct the flexible pavement and the rigid pavement based on all the information you are provided in a specific region. And here's the temporary schedule for this class. We have 13 weeks in this term, and in the first week, we'll have some overview about the pavement design, and then we're going to introduce the fundamental knowledges in the first 7 weeks. And after that, we will have the midterm exam. And start from week 8, we will introduce some of the fundamental knowledges for the flexible and the rigid pavement design. You will also see that the schedule for all the weeks for you to receive the homework assignments. We have 4 homework assignments, 1 to 4, and also there's one homework 0, which is the one I just mentioned. It's in the homework it's in the bonus points for you to gain for this class, and I will give you more details about how to complete what kind of tasks you have to complete in the homework number 0. Here would be the tutorial sessions, and as I mentioned previously, we will have 7 sessions. 3 of them will be the preliminary knowledge of this class. It will be offered on week 2, 3, and 5, which will include the pavement distress identification, the characters of the soil, and the volumetrics and calculation. And after week 5, we will have 4 review sessions and the Q&A sessions. The Q&A session will generally be scheduled just before the exam, so that you can have some help for you to prepare the midterm and final exams. For the midterm exam, it will be scheduled in the tutorial session, which will be the Wednesday 12:30 to 2:20. It will be in a 2 hour, and it will be on week 8. I kind of a little bit forgot about the exact date, but if we go to check the week 8, excluding the fall recession, we can find out the exact date. I will update with you about the exact date of the midterm very soon. And for the final exam, it's assigned by the university, and usually in the final weeks. So we will all be received the information about the final exam maybe at the second half of this term. And I plan to offer both exams online, so you don't need to come to campus to take any in-person test. So that's the tutorial session, and the last point is the lab experiment, which is also one of the most important things we have to do for this class. And our lab experiment was started in the 3rd week, so that will be the September 20th or September 21st. That will be the first one. And before we start the lab experiment, I hope you can all take the survey in A2L to indicate your preferences about in-person activities, whether you're gonna take the in-person tutorial session and the lab sessions. If you are taking the lab sessions, which session you are enrolled in, whether we have to know how many students are enrolled in the Tuesday session and Wednesday session. If you are enrolled in the Tuesday session, you will usually be assigned with the same person in that session, and depending on how many students there, you will be assigned to different teams. Usually each team will have 4 students. And for the online students, you also need to find out the team, and you will not take any in-person experiment, but you will have to prepare the lab report based on the raw experiment data that I shared with you, maybe after the 3rd week. And I guess that's all the information I would like to share with you. Do you have any questions? I did not see any questions in the meeting chat, but if you want to ask any question, you are feel free to raise your hand. Okay, so I guess everything is clear for you. So if there's any questions, I will probably close the meeting today. And if you recall anything, please feel free to send me email or send me a message in Teams. And this session will also be recorded and shared on Avenue to Learn. And so in that sense, you are able to double check what information that we provided in the lecture today. Okay. So I think that will be all the information today. And we really appreciate your attendance, and I will see you tomorrow for the first official letter, the official lectures in this class. Okay, great. Thank you very much for your attendance, and I will see you tomorrow.